Hey guys. For some reason my YouTube chat is not working. Then we shall have to pop this one out and use this one instead. You ready for today, brother?
Nope.
You fucking should be.
Why?
Because a lot of it's going to be on you and me as tanks. And hello, Kyle. I've got my flasks, I've got my mana oils, yeah, I've got everything I need on that side. So, 8 out of 8 for today then, yeah? We're going to try for it, Kyle, obviously, but, you know, although he's easier than, say, Ansrek was last year, she was, like, 4th hardest end boss of all time, he's still not easy. And he's harder on Heroic than he is on Mythic, so...
Has Galavix been nerfed yet?
No. And Galavix, that's the other thing, is Galavix is still nerfed. So he's still got max health, max damage, everything he's got heroic. I don't think Galavix will get his nerfs until next week. And even though the nerfs they put on Muggsy this week were only health nerfs, they took 10% health off him and 10% health off the ads that he spawns. It's not a big nerf at all. Whenever you get a health nerf is like, it's a minor nerf. It's not anything impressive, unless they take off like a fuck ton of health, like 25% or something drastic. If they take off like 10 or 15%, it's nothing. Really nothing, to be fair. All it means is for that, it means guilds that have got poor DPS, you might kill the boss before the enrage timer. Is all that might mean.
So are we doing 3 healers or what are you doing?
I think we're doing 4 by Sandra, we're taking Mini as Resto Druid. By Sandra.
Because I think we're gonna struggle a tiny bit on Galavix 3 healers.
What is this thing? Where do I hand this fucking thing in?
What thing?
This thing I've got here. Liberation of Undermine splitting pairs.
You have to go inside the raid for it. You talk to that fucking goblin, the first boss guy.
The guy outside with the rocket.
You know where the
first boss spawns. First boss. Yeah, there's a guy stood with some rockets.
Like, yeah. You talk to that guy and turn in the quest.
Right, okay. I mean, I did say as well before the tier even started, Kyle. I said, bear in mind when we did it last year, we started out doing heroic with only like 7 people. But by that point, the raid was already quite nerfed. Because I didn't start leveling my character until like 2 months into the tier. That was already 8 weeks gone. We're only on week 5. So we're not even at the point I would have started last year. And I was leveling from level 61 to 80. So I was leveling and then having to gear. So we started way late into the tier last time. This time we're here right at the start. So again,
are we bringing everyone today or?
I think we are. We're going to bring everyone, and then if we hit a DPS check, we can always get people to step out if it's too hard. But I can't judge that until we see it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not fucking. Yeah.
We've got loads of people tonight, haven't we?
19. Hello, Lincoln. So we are still really early in the tier. You've got to think you've got 24 weeks in a tier. We're on week 5. You've not even nerfed Galavix in Heroic yet. So
I watched a video. I'm not going to lie, but the guy was calling out so many different markers. I was a bit confused. I have to see it.
We're not calling out other markers. We'll just have 8 markers, which is the guns.
I mean, like he was like saying about it's like soaking the moon, or like it's kind of hard to understand because
soaking moon. There's only 4 soaks in the game, and they all spawn at the boss.
Yeah, it's something about like while the soak's going off, you have to go out to the side and drop a bomb, and then it leaves the bomb on the floor. So there's like there's a few things. I watched the video, but kind of hard to learn when you're not in it, if you know what I mean.
Well, that's why you've got to see it first. That's why I'm saying today, really, we'll bring everyone and we'll see where we can get to first. And then see if there is a DPS wall that we hit where some of the less geared or less skilled players, DPS-wise, have to step out. I did it mid the corner yesterday.
There is one part, if you can get to 50%, apparently you can skip a load of bombs or something. You can skip something, but
maybe.
Something around 50%, he said.
Well, 50% he starts this thing where he gives himself a shield. And for some reason, Corvold and Mini want to choose a shield, want to choose Lust on that, and I've never seen a guild Lust on that yet. Guilds even
last there, and I think the whole point of it is so you kick you last so the healers can keep up because you don't interrupt until the very last second, and everyone takes the damage.
It does ramp in damage, yes, but at most guilds I've seen do it either Lust at the start of the fight or they Lust at 50% after the shield. Because if you lust on the shield, you do no damage to the boss. All you're doing is damaging his shield.
No, because after you break the shield, you then keep you can damage him. Just don't interrupt straight away.
You can damage him, but what I'm saying is you waste a good portion of lust on the shield. So you're wasting lust. You're not using it. You're wasting it. That's like lusting on Ansarek on an intermission. Why would you ever lust there?
You still get quite a lot of time on him with it. Without obviously you have to
I'd still rather people save CDs and just try and do it that way, rather than waste lust. I'd rather use lust after the shield's gone, and then maximise our output on his health. Because at that point then, your 50% to 0 is kind of like more of a DPS race. It's not like Mugsy.
Why they're saying that is because I think they watched the Stanky guy, because he also said that the enrage is quite it's not that bad.
I don't know who that guy is. I've never heard of him.
He said he got the timer for the enrage is quite generous. Like it's
well, Liquid were on him for 9 minutes and 27 seconds, and he didn't enrage.
Yeah.
So he's almost a 10-minute fight. So he's not the enrage time is kind of hidden. The enrage time is not actual enrage. It's when you run out of floor space from the cannons.
Yeah.
It's basically that.
It's quite what's the word? It's not super tight like some other fights.
No, it's not like Mugsy or One Arm Bandit. They're both a DPS race from like 30 or 40% down. He's not got anything like
really
that.
Hit the end range unless if a lot of people are dead or something.
A lot of people are dead, or you've got really, really bad DPS, or they're really undergeared or something. But if they're really bad DPS, I'm not being funny, you won't get past Mugsy. Mugsy would wall you.
3 weeks old, but obviously those guys that are probably at that point will probably already have decently geared already.
But I wouldn't lust on the shield unless we are struggling on the shield. I'd like to see us get through the shield without wasting lust. I'd like to use lust where we should lose it.
Because if you're using lust later on when there's hectic chaos going on, a lot of people have downtime with DPS. At least that one, that is everyone can just pump brain dead, just run around in circles, dodge beams, right?
I don't know. I haven't been there myself yet. I've watched videos of it, but
he spins around with like 4 beams, and there's 4 little sections that are safe.
There's 4 beams on Mythic. It's 3 beams on Heroic. It's a triangle on Heroic.
Okay.
And it only affects melee. It doesn't affect you ranged. You ranged can actually outrange it at 40 yards, where on Mythic you can't. You've got to be in one of those segments or it'll wipe the raid. Because if you're not taking electrical charge from the boss, you'll take damage every single second. And in Mythic it's quite oppressive. Again, they've kind of done a little bit of Ansarek on him, where the first 30% of the boss on Mythic is the hardest part of the Galabix fight. The remaining 70% is all the same phase. All you do is as the fight progresses, you get less room to do the mechanics in. But you get all the same mechanics. It doesn't get any more mechanics or any more damage. You just get the same mechanics for 70% of the fucking boss's health bar. You just got to do it in less room.
The races ruined the raid, because the boss seems quite alright, to be fair. Like for a heroic raid, it seems alright.
Heroic it's okay, but not for Mythic. For Mythic, they're fucked up.
Yeah, I think the Mythic one has kind of impacted the whole sort of vibe of it, if you know what I mean.
I'm personally erring on the side of either they didn't get time to finish the third phase, or for some reason they didn't activate it, and they didn't expect Liquid to blow through it that quickly. Because there should have been something else at 30 or 40%.
They changed it, didn't they? They changed it so the guide there was nothing in the guide about it. I think they were just wasn't expecting them to figure it out so quick without a guide, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's stupid though. But see, in that scenario there, if they have got, say, a hidden third phase, they should have had that automatically enabled. So as soon as they hit that trigger at, say, 30 or 40% health, it should have auto-started. It shouldn't require them to physically enable it on the boss. That's stupid. Because what if you're asleep as it happens? These players raid all hours. If you're not physically in the office to enable that trigger, the race can end like that. It's stupid.
Oh, yeah.
They need to have that already implemented. Like, when the raid's released. Or at very least, when they start progging the second last boss, everything on the last boss should be enabled and ready. Because then you know when that boss falls, it's last boss up. Everything should already be done on him at that point. If not, then that's just stupidity. But I'm more inclined to think that isn't the case. They just didn't have time to finish it. I think it
I
would.
shouldn't say this because we literally just got a new raid, but I reckon the next raid they might fucking it's gonna be hard. I think.
I reckon the next raid is going to be like fucking Jailer 2.0. I reckon the next raid is going to be oppressive as fuck. The one thing we do want is, which is what Jimmy were talking about last night, as long as they make it more than 8 bosses. So at least you don't get that weird difficulty curve. If they make it, say, 10, 12 bosses, it's spread out a bit.
12 bosses and they chuck an extra 1 or 2 harder bosses in it, it makes it a bit...
Well, it means you can clear 6 and get a full raid vault. And then you might have maybe cleared half the raid. And then at least you've still got all the bosses.
I know it's a bit...
12's a good number, but I think a minimum of 10.
For the race, it makes the race a bit longer, because then they can just chuck that extra 1 more harder boss in there somewhere.
Well, the thing is, I mean, let's be honest, right? Liquid and Echo are Method at their skill level. If the bosses aren't, say, Styx and Sprocketmonger hard or Painsmith hard, they're probably going to wipe 6 of the 7 bosses in probably under 10 pulls per boss. So there's probably only going to be 3 or 4 bosses in there that are actual war for those guilds. The rest of the bosses are going to be a cakewalk. You're never going to get a boss that's going to be like 400 pulls, really, like Halondrus was. You know, at his point in the raid. Because you go to Halondrus, like, what, boss 3 or 4 in Jailer raid? Was it?
No idea.
It was quite early on, weren't it? Because you could go to 3 different bosses, couldn't you?
What are we talking about?
Halondrus and Jailer raid. Weren't it like really early in the raid? It was like boss 4 or 5, weren't it? Something, or 3 or 4.
I think you can like swap something between we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean 6. I mean in the journal is boss number 7, so.
He's boss number 7, but you didn't have to do him that late. You could do him really early.
No.
Because you could go to other bosses, couldn't you, in the Jailer's raid?
Yeah. Thanks.
And the thing is, right, with the number of pulls and the difficulty of the mechanics with them all being one-shots, Halondrus was hard enough to be an end boss himself. So was Underwin. Underwin and Halondrus were both hard enough to be end bosses. They were harder than most of the end bosses in Dragonflight. That's how hard Halondrus was. What's Halondrus? Was it like 400 pulls? 300 pulls? What was it?
That was the crabby one.
The crab one, the big mechanical crab thing.
Yeah.
What was it? What was his the first kill on him liquid? What was his pull count?
I actually can't remember.
I can have a look.
It were fucking high.
I've got some more potions. I haven't really got enough to trade away, so people have to bring their own. Actually, I could probably give a little bit of a... Oh god, I see Matrix. Oh, I see both.
We're both here. Just chilling.
Great. I was hoping I was going to have a nice clean save where I wouldn't see you then.
What?
Where is the vault anyway? So... Oh, okay, that's not too bad. I'll go for probably 4, 6. 1, 2...
What?
I'm just trying to see which bosses that I can just pug easily, because I missed the first raid. I might just go for the one out of 4.
You can pug up to the first 7, and if you're gonna do it,
it's not that. It's if I can be asked, I'm just gonna do the first 3.
all I would say is get your vault unlocked, your free vault options.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get 1 out of 6. I definitely get the 4. You know, 4 bosses. I don't know if I really want to bother fucking pugging.
Well, what have you got? Have you just got Mugsy?
Yeah, but I also do the other 3, so that put me up to 4 bosses. So I have 2 slots in the raid.
So you've only got to do 2 then, right?
Well, it'd be 2 after we kill Gallium.